Meanwhile, Lebanon's healthcare system is bracing itself by equipping hospitals in Beirut and in the southern part of the country with emergency medical supplies and intensively training staff for potential emergencies amid fears of a full-scale conflict with Israel. Earlier on Monday, the World Health Organization delivered 32 tons of medical supplies to Lebanon's health ministry, including at least 1,000 trauma kits to treat possible war wounded. Hospitals in southern Lebanon, which are on the front lines of the cross-border hostilities between Hezbollah and the Israeli military, are worn down by years-long economic meltdown and have struggled to cope with wounded patients over the last 10 months. And DD India's Trent Murray is stationed in Beirut. He joins us live now. Trent, following the assassination of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh and Iran's promised response at the right time and in the appropriate shape, are we headed for a serious escalation in the region?
Well, Tanvi, it certainly feels that way, and it's what many diplomats here are saying could be around the corner. We know that Organisation of Islamic Cooperation meeting, which was held yesterday, was actually requested by Iran, and we understand that they were wanting to discuss with some of their regional allies not just the fact that they believe Israel was behind the targeting of Ismail Haniyeh, but also briefing some of them on how they would respond. Now, of course, the concern is that Iran has got many allies and proxies within this region, including probably the most powerful one being Hezbollah right here in Lebanon. And so right now there really is just a waiting game, I think, for many here to see what the retaliation would be. All of the rhetoric suggests it will be significant and that it is coming, which is why many people here are on edge, as you can imagine. We've heard some reports in the past 24 hours of Lebanese citizens beginning to stockpile food and other supplies from supermarkets, diapers, nappies, rice, sugar, flour, just some of the most popular items right now. The government here is saying they shouldn't do that. The country does have 3 months' supply of food, medicine and fuel, but it seems that warning hasn't necessarily been heeded by some people who obviously are concerned that their country could be on the brink of a major war, given the rhetoric they're seeing from the likes of Hezbollah and Iran.
Trent, what could be done and by whom to de-escalate tensions in the region, or is that now a remote possibility?
Well, look, I think diplomats will say they will keep working the phones right down until the last minute. We know one of the official, well, not unofficial back channels, we should say, between Hezbollah and Israel is the UN peacekeeping mission. It's often forgotten that there are 10,000 UN peacekeepers currently stationed on the border of Lebanon trying to keep the peace. Now, interestingly, India is one of the largest contributors to that mission. Around 10% of those forces are Indian nationals, soldiers, I should say. And we understand they are playing a role in trying to deliver messages back and forth between the two sides. They're obviously right in the thick of it, quite literally seeing rockets fly over their head. And we know that both sides do have unofficial red lines. There are some rules of engagement. If Hezbollah is to respond and maybe only target Israeli military infrastructure, well, maybe that won't warrant a huge response by the Israelis. But if civilians are hit, well, then it's thought that Israel will respond. And it's thought that Hezbollah has got rocket launch sites embedded within this city under places like parks, schools, golf courses, and so that type of Israeli intelligence which they are putting out into the public has obviously got people concerned here that if the Israeli Air Force was to try and target some of those sites in any outbreak of war, then civilians could get caught up in it, just like we've seen in Gaza. So look, obviously tensions running red hot right now, a number of countries trying to dial down the tensions, but it does appear that both sides are not backing off from this planned response and planned attack, which appears to still be coming led by Tehran and its proxies.
Trent Murray in Beirut, thank you very much for those updates.